Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy. So today I'm going to be doing an actual review of my TOPS Longhorn Bowie that I received, I don't know what, a couple weeks now. I've done a bunch of cutting videos and I didn't honestly want to give it a review until I've had a little bit of time using it, carrying it, modifying it, and just all that other good stuff. But I feel like with what I've done with it so far, I can give at least a preliminary review. This is by no means a long-term review, but how it's held up so far and my opinions of it after owning it for a couple weeks and using it and carrying it every day and blah, blah, blah. I'm rambling on. So anyways, if you watch my videos, you know the sheath it comes with is atrocious. I don't know what else to say about it, but you know, it's just garbage putting it in. It's got this stupid plastic liner in here that if you want to stick it in and you're not paying attention, it goes behind it, it goes in front of it. Sometimes, not right now, but yeah, it wants to stick in there. It doesn't want to get in there where it should usually. And I can imagine if this was like on your hip and you're in a weird position, you're fumbling, you're stabbing your freaking the stupid Velcro, just garbage. Not garbage in bad quality, just garbage in not what this knife needed. So y'all seen that I made my own sheath. This has been the best upgrade that you can do to a TOPS Longhorn Bowie, is get a better sheath for it. And you're also gonna have to get a sheath that is a high carry. You don't want something that carries midway, because this knife is very handle heavy. So you want your belt loop way above the center of the, the center of where this thing balances, which is right about where this point is here. If you were to carry it here, it's just never gonna stay where you want it to. It's gonna flop around. But if you put it down here, it's gonna hit against your leg and stay there. So anyways, that's out of the way. My second issue that it's a non-issue, but it was a worry of mine before buying this, was everybody said in the reviews they were worried about the tip not being strong. And I haven't done any tip tests because these things are kind of hard to get now. They're out of stock in most places, and I was lucky to find one available, brand new. And unfortunately, it happened to be one with the Rocky Mountain tread. Not that the Rocky Mountain tread is bad. It's comfortable. It doesn't hinder use in the knife in any way. It's just aesthetically, it's not pleasing to me aesthetically. I would much prefer the solid scales, without the milling out and stuff. Other than that, when it comes to use, it is good. I mean, I could definitely see its benefits, especially with chopping. And I'm an aesthetic person, and I have to like the way something looks in order to really love something. And so in my opinion, the functionality is great. The aesthetics of it, that's personal preference, and mine is I just don't like it. Also, back to the tip, it's very thick. It's a very fat tip. If you take a caliper, and my caliper's screwed up, it never wants to go in the same place twice. But for purposes of measuring, it's a quarter inch back here, but it keeps that quarter inch all the way to about there. The last this much of this knife, it's a quarter inch and starts tapering from there. So it is a full quarter inch, and they did a great job grinding it to where the plunge grind does not interfere with the quarter inch spine. Other knives like the SE6, which has great quality control, but still, where they dug their plunge grind in actually takes away from the 3/16 spine thickness. So if you go here, and yeah, it is coated, but still, you'll get the idea. But then as soon as you come here, it loses. You can even see right here where it's thicker and then thinner, and it's right where the plunge grind meets. Do I trust it still? Absolutely. But it shows the quality of milling that went into this knife. But anyways, back to that. If you take the thickest part of it, like everybody was saying the tip on this thing was too thin, but everybody, you know, that I know and talk to, and you know, all the forums and stuff like that, you know, the SE6 has a robust tip. So let's go with the full thickness of the SE right there. Let's lock this down so it doesn't go nowhere. And that tip tapers right about there. It starts to taper right about there. And then it's loose again. But if you take the maximum thickness on this actual blade and go on the Longhorn, let's see how far back it goes. Right there. That right there made me trust this this tip on this Bowie a lot. It is a very, very fat tip. Speaking of the tip, let's look at their grinds. Perfectly even. And if you can focus, perfectly even. They did a great job grinding this knife. Also too, in the specs, it says it's a 6 3/4 inch blade. My measurements show it at 7. So let's see here. And you asked me, I mean, we're going to the scale, but come on. That's a 7-inch blade if I've ever seen one. It's actually like a 32nd bigger than 7 inches, but I call it a 7-inch blade. They call it a 6 3/4, and it's probably of cutting. Yeah. But anyways, that was cool because I thought it was 6 3/4 from here. When I was purchasing this, I was basing it on the measurements of the SE6 and also the measurements of like an Ontario SP6. Overall, let's take this guy out of here. So yeah, well, screw it. Here's some comparisons. If you're looking for a Longhorn Bowie, comparing to the SE6 and the Ontario SP6, there you go. There's your comparisons. In total overall length, set these here. The SP6 is never gonna focus, but if you look right there, it has just a tad overall length more than this. But with the SP6, I believe you have an 8-inch blade. See, they call it an 8-inch blade, but I'm looking at 7 3/4. Just a hair over 7 3/4. So yeah, let's put these away before I cut myself. Sorry, I'm losing track. It has been a Saturday. So yeah, that was one of my big concerns, was the tip, the thickness. I have seen, if I had to base SE's 1095 versus Tops's 1095, I'd honestly say that SE does a better job. And not only in my opinion, do they do a better job with 1095, not an edge holding ability. I think they're on par with each other, but I have seen a lot of these, not this particular knife, but Tops knives in 1095 chip out, and I think it's because they leave their edge just a little harder because they do a differential heat treatment on these. The spine of the knife is not as hard as the actual cutting edge. But where SE shines is their warranty. You can't beat their warranty. If Tops had a warranty like SE, they would kick Essie's ass all day long. But man, I am rambling today, aren't I? What am I at, 10 minutes? Holy crap. All right, let's get to this. So anyways, the handle was another thing I was really worried about with this guy. And it has been a non-issue. Actually, I enjoy the hell out of this handle. I have extra large hands that measure at the fattest part, you know, about 4, if I'm holding on to something, almost 4 1/4. Big old fat meat paws. Let's stick this up here. There you go. There we go. I'm at, like, if I'm squeezing down on something, my little fatty meats are putting about 4.5 inches of distance on here. And I was worried that this handle was going to be too big. It is not. This is a well thought out handle on this knife. It gives you 3 excellent holding positions. And that's just in the hammer grip. First, you got you're choked up. You get your little choil there for good control if you're doing fine tasks. Then you got your standard grip, just your everyday and whatever. And then you got your chopping grip, and that's what's cool about this knife. It has this little divot back here to where if you put your pinky right there, it is a full handle in its own. And as soon as you put this this lanyard around, now instead of chopping with 7 inches, you're behind the balance point now, and it's like chopping with almost a 9.5 inch blade. I would say 9 inches of something that had a smaller handle. So not only this thing is a chopper, but it's controllable too, because when you're choked up here, your center point, your balance is right at that screw basically, and that's inside your hand. It is fast, easy to maneuver, and awesome. So yeah, it is chunky though, but it hasn't been an issue. I think the only reason the weight would be an issue is if you're EDCing it. But if you're out in the woods or something like that, I don't see the weight being that much of an issue. I'm a big guy. I can carry a lot of weight, but yeah, these knives have been out for a long time. The fact that I've never seen one before until like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I put it on my, I screenshotted it when I seen it, and I'm like, how have I never even used one of these or seen one? As soon as I seen this knife, I had to buy it. So I'm out of the game, but yeah, if you get a chance to pick up one of these guys, I would go with it. I would run. It was less than 200 bucks, I think. It was like 180 something, I think. And you know, granted, you do get a crappy sheath. The knife is freaking awesome. I mean, even Essie's, you know, Essie, I had to modify the sheath. Ontario, I had to make a whole nother sheath too. So, I mean, that's just kind of like par for the course sometimes with these knives is excellent knife, shitty sheath. But anyways, that's my 2-week review, and to be determined, because as of right now, this one's still my EDC. Thanks for watching.